Hey everyone, it's Tony George. It's Tuesday already because of the Christmas week. I haven't seen a single NFL line. Obviously, still kind of digesting Monday's results. Wow. But nonetheless, it's week 17. It's the NFL opening line report. So I'm going to see all these lines, including the Chiefs line, which I usually know because Mr. George is a huge Chiefs fan. She's struggling at the moment, as all Chiefs fans are. But nonetheless, this is where we give you initial thoughts and reactions, not a deep dive or handicap picks of what we think out of the gate with the opening lines again, which I have not seen. And this is interactive, so you leave your comments in the comments section below. Tell me what you think, what your money line parlays might be, your best bet on teasers, and your best picks of the day. We get hundreds of these comments and thousands of views. So I usually get in there, and it's going to be a short week this week. I got to have picks out Thursday, including the final round of the bowl picks, and the next 2 weeks in the NFL. Week 17 and week 18 are going to be very low volume because a lot of crazy stuff is going to happen. Mark my words, insane stuff. You saw a little bit of it this weekend. You know, teams grabbing defeat from the jaws of victory and all kinds of different things. Um, Teams scoring a lot of points that never score a lot of points. You know, teams that scored a lot of points but didn't hardly score any. You saw a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of this inconsistency the last couple of weeks in the NFL. But nonetheless, we had a top play on the Rams this week, and our top play on Sunday, which is only a 4-unit pick, was the Browns. We pretty much just screwed up everything else, including a teaser. Because we had Denver in a teaser. What was that? Russell Wilson gets beat by Zappy? Wow. Wow. Crazy. But nonetheless, leave your comments. We'll approve. I get hundreds of them, maybe 30 or 40 of them will pop up there, interact with you. Let's get to it here. Going to make it short and sweet day. I got a lot of work to do. We're a day behind because of the holiday. Hope you all had a great Christmas. Hope you all have a fantastic and safe New Year's Eve. You know, it's amateur hour out there on the road. So, you know, I'm getting the point in time in my life where I either do a house party at home or I just stay home. You know, I'm at the age now I don't need to go out and rip it up on New Year's Eve. Used to for 20, 30 years. Loved it. Loved New Year's Eve. But nonetheless, and there's a lot of games on New Year's Eve, so I'm going to be dialed in on the NFL. So let's go ahead and pull these up and see what we got. We have a Thursday night game between the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. The Browns are laying 7, total 35.5. My initial thought is the under. It's still 7 and 35.5. Joe Flacco, even though he just got on the roster, 4 weeks ago, he's playing the best football he's played in a decade. They went down to Houston and beat the dog piss out of them. I thought they would because Houston's going to be kind of one-handed with Keenum. But they really were impressive again. Flacco, impressive again. If there's a comeback player of the year, I know he just got on the roster like a month ago, but he's the guy. And they could go into the playoffs way past the first round. Be careful with these guys. You know, Flacco's just hitting on all cylinders. I'd lean, Cleveland definitely in a teaser somewhere. Get them down to -1, stick them with somebody on Saturday or Sunday. You've got a Saturday game, by the way, and let's talk about it. The under, I think, I'm not sold on the Jets, even though they beat Washington, because it's Washington. Dallas is laying 6 at home to the Lions. 53.5. Over for sure. Give me Detroit in a teaser. +12. Dallas shouldn't be laying 16. Dallas isn't that good. Dallas, yeah, they're a beast at home. They score 39 points at home and 21 on the road. A lot of those 39 points they've averaged at home are against a bunch of losing teams. Detroit is not a losing team, but you have to worry about their mind. This is a game I'm going to leave alone, by the way, on Saturday. But Detroit's a team you got to figure out what their mindset is after winning their first division title in 30 years and how up they're going to be for this game. And Dallas is poorly coached by Mike McCarthy. That's the bottom line. They can't beat anybody good. Sunday, Miami and Baltimore. Wow, here's a big game. This is a big game here. Baltimore looked. I had San Francisco on Monday night. I thought San Francisco was the best team in football. Now I believe that Baltimore is the best team in football. My beloved Kansas City Chiefs are not going to go to the Super Bowl. And if they were somehow to get Baltimore on the road in the playoffs, they would get eviscerated. Baltimore is one thing about that game you saw is that John Harbaugh coached the pants off of Shanahan. Coached him off. Out-coached him, outplayed him. Jackson, definitely bucking for an MVP this year. Playing great football. Lamar at quarterback. They got more than what Miami's got. They're laying 3.5 out in the cold weather. I don't like the hook on that, but I don't think Miami, they play anybody good outside of home. Remember they went to Buffalo and got stomped. You know, I can't trust Miami on the road, but I can trust the Ravens at home. -3.5. Total 47 is about right. New England catching 11.5 at Buffalo. Total 40.5. Give me New England. Atlanta at Chicago catching 3. The Bears at home. Total 37.5. Smith, the head coach of Atlanta, must have listened to Doc's Gridiron 6-pack with me and Griff Murphy last week because I was screaming at the top of my lungs that this coach is a lunatic. The week before they played Indy, they played a game and got their butt handed to them. And he gave Bijan and got beat by the worst team in football. And he gave Bijan Robinson, their number 1 draft pick, 8 touches that entire game. What are you doing? Not utilizing Pitts. And I was screaming that Ritter is not an NFL quarterback. What'd he do? Started Heineke, gave the rock, threw the rock to Robinson, big game changer, and got Pitts involved. What'd they do? Win. Chicago, won an impressive win for Chicago last week as well. Both are bad head coaches. $37.5, down from 38.5. I'd lean Bears. Tennessee at Houston. Houston 3.5 at home, favored 42.5. This was a low-scoring game last time, overtime game that Houston won. Tennessee had every chance to win that game. They're 2 weeks removed from that game. I'd take Tennessee on the hook. Las Vegas catching 3 at the Colts. Las Vegas was shut down offensively against Kansas City. The majority of their points came from their defense scoring on a pick 6 and a scoop and score. As Kansas City continues to be a whirling cesspool of doom and despair, I'm not even wearing my Chiefs hat today. But that being said, total 44.5. I like the under. Also, I'd put Raiders in a 2-team 6-point teaser. Colts got exposed last week against a bad football team. Raiders playing good ball for that interim head coach. You ought to make him the head coach. Should have made the interim head coach last year, the head coach. There were rumors Gruden was coming back. Then there's rumors Gruden or Belichick might be in L.A. for the Chargers next year. But that being said, Las Vegas plays well for this coach. Their offense looked terrible. I'd lean under 44.5 there before I take a side, and I'd probably take the underdog. Definitely put Raiders in a teaser. Your thoughts, leave them here. Carolina catching 7 at Jacksonville. There's your teaser. Raiders and Jacksonville down to -1. Jacksonville got smacked around by a very underrated Tampa Bay team. Total 38.5. Jacksonville just can't get it together. They can't get on the same page for whatever reason. They got talent. You'd think they would just walk away with that game. I put them in a teaser. Rams laying 6.5 on the road at the Giants. Total 42. Are the Rams ready to lay 6.5? Giants, they look good with Taylor there. Give me the Giants. Put them in a teaser. Plus 12.5. We put them on your free play video, I gave you the Raiders plus 10.5. I told you to tease the Raiders and the Giants. Both of them are getting too many points. Giants still playing. They look better with Taylor. I think Tommy Cutlets or Danny Cutlets or whatever the hell his name is done. I can only take the Giants there. That's a tough spot for the Rams. I'll tell you, the Rams, Sean McVay has done an outstanding job of coaching this team this year. They were left for dead on the side of the road. They were picked to finish, to have a battle with Arizona to finish last in that division. And look at them. They're right in the thick of the playoff hunt at 8-7. And Giants aren't throwing in the towel. They're still playing hard, even though they just don't have a lot of talent. Definitely put the Rams in a teaser. I think teaser combinations are good. You can put either way. I think you'd be good. You could better off probably put the Giants in a teaser than the Rams, actually, just in case. Just in case. As I said, there's going to be some crazy crap happening this week. Philadelphia laying 10.5, total 48 to Arizona. Give me Arizona. Arizona is not throwing in the towel. They're playing hard every game, and Philadelphia ain't all that. Sorry, Eagles fans. I know you're fanatical, and a lot of you come in here with dropping F-bombs in the comment section. I'm talking bad about your Eagles, and my Eagles kick your Chiefs' ass in Arrowhead. I don't give a rat's butt. You're not playing good football. You should be laying 10.5 to anybody, just like Kansas City should be laying 10.5 on Christmas Day. By name, yes. By reputation, yes. By current state of affairs, no. New Orleans at Tampa Bay minus 2.5. Tampa Bay is total 42. No doubt about it. Give me Tampa Bay, period. They're playing good ball and they're sneaky good. Baker Mayfield, say what you want to say about him. He's more than serviceable. He's an above-average quarterback. He's surrounded by weapons, and they got a pretty stout defense. And I'm not a fan of their head coach, but New Orleans with Carr there is a train wreck. No way. Give me TB. Tampa Bay at home, minus 2.5, perfect. Washington catching 13.5 at home against the Niners. How do the Niners respond after getting beat on special teams, getting beat on defense, getting beat on offense, and getting his ass coached off? How do they respond? I'm not willing to lay 13.5 on the road. Anybody that follows me for the last 32 years and have followed me on these videos for the last 4 or 5 years, 6, 7 years, however long I've been here now, I don't get involved with double-digit favorites in the NFL unless I'm fading them. And it's hard to fade San Francisco against a team like Washington because it's night and day. And I know that Ron Rivera can't outcoach Shanahan in this one. How do they respond? How do they bounce back? 48.5. I mean, San Francisco's defense got shredded. And Washington's got some play. They look better with Brissett in there against the Jets, but I don't want anything to do with it. What do you think? The Steelers off an impressive win against the Bengals. Wow. I have to have a drink on that. My buddy Paul, one of my best buddy Paul, out here in Vegas, he is a monster Steelers fan. Oh, painful to have to listen to him during that game. Seattle at home, 3.5. Total 41.5. I'd probably play the under, if anything, and definitely put the Steelers in a teaser. Can Mason Rudolph do it twice in a row? That's the question. Can Mason Rudolph do it twice in a row? And Seattle grab victory from the jaws of defeat against Tennessee. Boy, that's a tough. What do you guys think? And Pete Carroll at home is always a pain in the you know what. He's a tough cat to figure out. Going for with him or against him, I always get my rear end handed to me. I try and avoid them at all costs. Although I will take them at home on Monday nights, especially as an underdog. They win all the time. They just did here a couple Monday nights ago. Um, both teams are in the playoff hunt. Pitt in the AFC, them in the NFC. Coin toss ball game, in my opinion. 41.5 is about right. Possibly could go under. Would be the only lean I'd have there. Chargers on the road, who gave Buffalo all they wanted at Denver. Denver beat them 24-7, was it? And Denver let New England come in and beat them. Now, New England's on the same level as the Chargers in terms of being bad. Current line is 5.5 Denver, total 38.5. It was 24-7. Chargers defense is just so bad. I think Wilson wants redemption. Denver off back-to-back bad. Remember the week before that debacle against Patriots last week that Detroit throttled them. Five and a half's a bad number to lay in the NFL. And tease them. You got to go through 0 to get plus a half, but it's probably worth it. Probably go under 2. Sunday night, you can't, for the love of all that is holy, Kansas City laying 7 against Cincy. You got to take Cincy. Total 44.5. Kansas City. You all know that I'm a Kansas City fan. I have been for 50 years. I grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska, then lived in Kansas City, 12 of them. It's 3 hours from my hometown. Well, 2 hours from my hometown to Kansas City and 3 hours from Lincoln. I grew up south of Lincoln, about 60 miles. You know, the loss to Pittsburgh is kind of like the loss that San Francisco had. Every now and then you just have one of those days. Somebody's just got your number. You're having a bad day. Things compound. They snowball on you. That's what happened to Cincinnati. They got the sum of their parts, especially offensively, is a lot better than Kansas City's. Even with Patrick Mahomes, a quarterback who's trying to do too much. You need to check Kansas City's injury list for this game. How many wide receivers are going to be out? Who's going to play? Which one has a decent chance of catching the ball? I'm hearing a lot of stuff about Travis Kelce and the Taylor Swift thing, and you're hearing all, hey, Kelsey's playing good ball. He just doubled every play. Because we have wide receivers you can man cover and stick to because none of them are quick or any good. You know, give me Cincinnati. Screw it. And that is the Sunday night game. On Monday, you have the Minnesota Vikings against the Green Bay Packers, who struggled to beat Carolina, gave up a ton of points. Minnesota, wow. That's 1.5 points at home. Total 46.5. Both of them at 7 and 8. The division is lost. A 33-30 win over Carolina. And then they lost to the Bucks, which we're talking about Green Bay now. They lost to the Bucks by 14 at home. Lost to the Giants. Somehow beat Kansas City because Kansas City sucks so bad. Minnesota losing to Detroit's not that shame. They lost by 3 to Cincinnati, beat Las Vegas, lost by 2. They played a lot of close games. Lost by 2 to Chicago, lost by 1 to Denver. I mean, Minnesota's just a heart attack kid. Head to head, what was that? Minnesota beat them 24-10 at Green Bay on October 29th. Give me Minnesota on the money line, minus 130. Tell me what you think, guys, about Week 17. Leave your comments there. As always, get over to Doc Sports. Check out the free $60 we have for you over there. Link in the description below or a tab on the upper left-hand corner of the website. We're going to have a low-volume week in the NFL. wishy-washy week this week. Wishy-washy, and really 3 weeks in the NFL that just haven't been good. Just not my, other sports we're beating it up in a little bit, doing well. Beating it up in the NBA, but we're doing well. But the NFL this year, just not my cup of tea. I'm not happy about it. I'm pissed off about it, as a matter of fact. I had a substantial wager on Cleveland. I had a substantial wager on the Rams. I won a little bit of money based on the unit ratings on my other picks that I had, but basically a wash. That's not good enough. So it'll be a couple of plays here. There's some opportunity here. Both sides and totals based on what I've seen out of the gate. Got to do a deep dive to handicap them. But get over to Docs. There's all kinds of information and free picks in the NFL written up for you at the website. Thumbs up, subscribe, all those good things. And the next NFL opening line report will be next year. Have a good New Year's Eve and have a good weekend in the NFL. Stop by the website and stop by the YouTube page daily. We'll have a lot of free picks for you.